You felt something wrong this morning. Maybe a fever creeping up your neck, a pain in your chest that wouldn't go away. So you picked up your phone, searched your symptoms, booked an appointment, and waited. The whole process took 4 minutes. You didn't panic. You knew someone trained, equipped, and ready would handle it. Now remove all of that. No phone, no clinic, no appointment, no antibiotics sitting in a cabinet. Just you, a group of 30 people, a forest, and something inside your body quietly trying to kill you. That was the reality for every human being who ever lived until about 200 years ago. And the fact that any of us are here at all means they figured something out. What they figured out is stranger, more brutal, and more remarkable than anything you were taught in school. Getting sick without modern medicine wasn't an inconvenience. It was a negotiation with death. Infection, fever, parasites, broken bones, childbirth, any of these could end a life in days. Researchers estimate that in early hunter-gatherer societies, roughly half of all children never reached adulthood. Half. And yet the species didn't just survive. It grew. It spread across every continent on Earth. Something was working. The question is what? In 2019, researchers studying a 5,300-year-old mummy known as Ötzi the Iceman made a discovery that reframed everything we thought we knew about prehistoric healthcare. Ötzi, found frozen in the Alps, was carrying a medical kit when he died. Inside it were 2 chunks of birch polypore mushroom threaded on a leather cord. For years, nobody understood why. Then they analyzed the mushrooms chemically. Birch polypore contains active antibiotic and antiparasitic compounds. Ötzi had intestinal parasites. He wasn't carrying those mushrooms as decoration or ritual. He was treating himself. 5,000 years ago, with no laboratory, no microscope, and no germ theory, a man in the Alps was performing targeted pharmaceutical intervention. But Ötzi's recent history compared to what archaeologists found at a site called El Cedrón in Spain. Studying the fossilized dental plaque of Neanderthals who lived at least 50,000 years ago, researchers found traces of plants with 0 nutritional value, guayaro and groundsel, both documented today for their medicinal properties. The Neanderthals weren't eating them for calories. They were eating them because on some level, accumulated over thousands of generations of trial and death, their group had learned that these plants made sick people feel better. This was pharmacology before the word existed. And here is where it gets darker. When plants weren't enough, ancient humans went further, much further. A Neolithic skull discovered in Spain, dated to around 5,000 years ago, had been deliberately cut open with a stone tool, not by injury, by human hands. And it showed bone regrowth around the edges, meaning the person survived. This practice is called trepanation. It is the oldest confirmed surgical procedure in human history, and it has been found on every inhabited continent. Studies of these skulls suggest survival rates between 50 and 90%. These weren't accidents or experiments. They were practiced procedures, passed down through generations, performed with stone tools on conscious human beings. And they worked. And they worked. Someone was in charge of all of this. In every hunter-gatherer society ever studied by anthropologists, there is one figure who sits at the center of the group's medical knowledge: the shaman, the healer, the medicine keeper. A 2021 study published in PLOS examined burial sites from the Natufian culture in the eastern Mediterranean, roughly 12,000 years old. The most carefully and elaborately buried individual at the site was a woman in her 40s, surrounded by tortoise shells, eagle parts, a leopard, a wild boar, and the foot of a human being. The researchers concluded she was almost certainly the group's healer. The most protected, most honored member of the community wasn't the strongest hunter. It was the person who knew how to keep people alive. The next time you book a doctor's appointment in 4 minutes on your phone, remember that you are the product of an unbroken line of sick people who survived anyway. Survived because someone in their group paid attention, tried something, watched what happened, remembered it, told someone else. We didn't build medicine from scratch. We inherited it years, from 50,000 years of people who had no choice but to figure it out or disappear. They figured it out, and here you are.